Hello all, my name is Michaela Spitler. I am a chemistry teacher. So a couple things about me. I was actually born in Atlanta, but I grew up in upstate South Carolina. I ended up graduating from Clemson University in 2013 with a Bachelor's of Science in Biochem and a minor in genetics. I ended up going on to grad school at OU for 2 years, also in biochem, working on my master's PhD. Didn't end up graduating due to some health issues though, but I moved to Kansas in 2017, so just over 3 years ago now. I've taught biology, physical science, and chemistry, so 9th grade, 10th grade, and then 11th and 12th grade. And I'm about to start my 3rd year teaching, though I did recently just leave the school that I spent the first 2 years at. So now it's going to be my first year at Dodge City High School, and I'm going to be teaching just chemistry now. So some more things about me. I am the youngest of 3. I have 2 older brothers, Forrest and Seth. I have played the harp for about 22 years now. I do have a dog. He's a nutcase. His name is Potter. He's the big one here. He does actually have a faint lightning bolt spot between his eyes, so his name is Harry Potter. Yeah. Hobbies, I'm really big into crafting, especially kind of fabric crafts. Big one right now is cross stitch, so these are some of my more recent cross stitches. I'm always reading, play games, video games, board games, music, and then kind of accidental hobby is puns, especially a lot of science puns. My students roll their eyes constantly. But so the 3 types of mindsets that we learned about in this assignment. All students can learn, so it's the belief that every student is capable of learning and succeeding. Teacher collaboration, so focusing on group working together as a whole instead of just teachers in isolation. And then happiness is a choice, so happiness can be attained by changing your thinking and doesn't actually have to be connected to your success or failure. The 5 types of dispositions. First up, we have confidence, so basically having the confidence to lead even if your decisions are not the most popular. Risk-taking and decisiveness, so learn by doing, and not being afraid to fail. There's a sense of humor, so it helps bring a sense of positivity even in the face of difficulties, so that is especially important right now. Empathetic and assertive, so understanding the positions of others while still driving towards progress. And then learners, so lead by example as a lifelong learner and student. So 3 different types of practices now. So there's focus and prioritizing, so the ability to kind of remove all the excess information and just focus on what's most important for the betterment of the school. And then the discipline to really keep at that. Examining feedback and data, this is one that's I find incredibly important as a scientist, but focusing on usable, relevant data that is from all involved parties in order to improve the school. And then also emotional intelligence, so the ability to inspire and motivate people through conversations while also making sure that that person feels valued. Alright, moving into the 8 principles of ethical leadership. So first up we have personal courage. So again, this is doing what's best for the students, the staff, the group, even if it's not all that popular. Public interest ahead of self, so learning to put the needs of others in front of the needs of yourself. Self-controlled, self-discipline, and integrity. So relationships must be built on not just trust, but also mutual respect, and also kind of a belief that your actions are designed to benefit the whole. Then we also have task and employee centeredness, so drawing on the talent and strengths of the staff to provide for both students and staff needs. And then we also have recognizing talent, so identifying the talent in students and staff and then placing those individuals where that talent can be most used, most utilized. Requiring high ethics from everyone It kind of keeps everybody at the right standard so you don't have pieces falling off all over the place. And it requires kind of a clear plan and clear and uniform enforcement for everyone. Sensitivity and understanding, so it creates a culture of equality within the school and creates a safe environment for everyone involved. And then also inclusiveness, so again creates an environment where everyone is welcome and trusted and fosters motivation, performance, and effectiveness. So talking a little bit more about kind of how some of these things impact me or my thoughts on them. I've always found that the every student can learn mindset is vital. It's something that I came into teaching with that kind of understanding. But unfortunately, at the school I recently left, there were so many instances where I just saw a teacher basically give up on a student. And it was kind of along the lines of, well, they're not learning the way I want them to, so they're just not going to learn this, and that's their problem. And it just happened so many times, and it just was incredibly frustrating to see that. That school also had a very kind of anti-collaborative environment going on, where if you tried to work with anybody, it was always like these snide comments coming from anywhere and everywhere about anything that you were trying to do that was different. And it just got very, it just wore me down over time. Disposition, so confidence and risk-taking are probably the bigger areas where I need to work on improvement with this. It's something that I've kind of been working on for a long time. If you saw me in high school, I was an incredibly shy kid, so the fact that I can actually get up and talk in front of people and go introduce myself to people and everything is actually kind of indicative of how much work I've been putting into that confidence and risk-taking. I've used both my sense of humor and my empathy as a major way of connecting with my students, because that was one of my goals coming into teaching, was also to connect with my students. And I've had several tell me that I'm pretty much the only teacher that they feel comfortable talking to about anything, really. And then I've always considered myself a learner. I'm a perpetual student, so I love learning new things, whether that's in science or not, and just really expanding my knowledge base. And then, again, going into kind of what happened at that former school, I feel like there was a lot missing from ethical leadership there. There was no recognition of talent. We had some teachers who were the only teacher at the school licensed in a particular subject, and yet they were told that they were not allowed to teach that subject for whatever reason. Personal courage was lacking, so we had some parents that if their kid got in trouble, they would just come in and complain on everybody and just steamroll through the school. And there was never really anybody who stood up to them, especially not in the administration or anything. And when I tried to, I got pushed back for standing up to them. So that was, that was really incredibly frustrating. Ethics were lightly enforced, if at all. We even had at least one instance where a teacher who was also the basketball coach started ridiculing a student who was on the court about his learning disabilities in the middle of a game, and nothing happened. So, yeah, ethics not really a huge issue there, or a huge goal there. Sensitivity and understanding was pretty much only for the normal students. If you had a student with a learning disability or one with mental health issues, there were so many instances where teachers just didn't want to change anything to help them out. They didn't want to do anything different. So that sensitivity and understanding just was not there. And then inclusiveness did not extend to the new teachers. When I started, there were 4 new teachers that year, including myself. And then this past year, there were 2 new teachers. And out of that 6, 1 was accepted, and he is the athletic director. 3 of us have now left, and the other 2 are most likely going to be leaving at the end of this year. So inclusiveness was not a high priority there at all. So wrapping all of this up, this assignment really just reviews the strategies that teachers can and should adopt in order to ensure the success and well-being of every student, and it focuses on the mindset, disposition, and practices of teachers as well as ethical leadership. And so this doesn't just go for teachers, it also goes into administration and all levels of the school. Like I was saying earlier, relevance, I have been attempting to implement many of these strategies into my life, both professionally and personally, and then several of the topics raised in this assignment are really at the core of why I left that school. So again, with the reflection, this assignment really kind of helped me think through all of the things that were happening at this school, and why I felt that I needed to leave, especially because the environment wasn't improving. And has been a little bit difficult because I feel kind of like I abandoned some of my students there. But yeah, so anyway, and there are my sources. So thank you.